Hi everyone, I'm Joanne and welcome to Chop Chat Cook. Today I've got Edwina in the kitchen. Welcome Edwina.
Hi Joanne,
Very
nice to be here.
Yes, very nice to have you here, thank you. And today we're going to be talking to Edwina about building on a career as a writer. So Edwina, tell us just a little bit about yourself, but what really interests me is how did you end up on that career? How did you end up being a writer, when you left school? What did you do when you left school?
So I think I should start probably with I always wanted to be a writer.
Oh.
It was an early dream when I was a child. I either wanted to be a writer or a nun or actually a saint. I used to lie awake waiting for the Virgin Mary to appear to me. That's Catholic upbringing, people. It's all right, I'm cured.
That's funny.
But I had a traumatic adolescence and I actually ended up getting thrown out of school. So I had to do an alternative senior. But luckily, thank you, Mum, I made it through that and was able to go to university, which was free at that time. So I wanted to do creative writing. I even applied for Australia Council grants, which I realise now was a bit premature.
You've got to try.
Yes. But so I ended up studying English literature. And honours, and it was a very staid and analytical course which was tearing books apart, and that actually stopped me writing for many, many years. And of course I was also, let's just say, not a very highly functioning human being at the time, and drugs and alcohol played a huge part in my life for many years until I was in my mid to late 20s. And when I was in Cambodia, I met my partner and the father of my daughter, so I was pregnant then, father of my children, and when I got pregnant I started, the urge to write became overwhelming.
Oh.
So I started really writing then, and my daughter is a really good writer too. She's finally started writing again, so I'm happy.
Oh, that's great.
And it was actually then, it was when I felt safe enough, I think, and secure enough, and I was at home. Once my children were old enough, I had that little gap in the middle of the day where one was at childcare and one was asleep, where I could write. So I would sit down and write. I did a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
I have heard of that, yes.
So that was really what stirred up my resolve to become what I'd always wanted to be. A writer and a saint.
We both go together.
Oh yes. And after that first year of writing, I got very lucky. That beginner's luck is a wonderful thing. I won a couple of prizes, got a couple of stories published, and I got accepted to the master's program at UQ. So that was in my actually it was about my mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really what started it all, and that's where I wrote Thrill Seekers as well.
Oh, so that was part of your master's?
Yeah, that was part of my master's, an earlier version of it.
So that was what, 2000 and...
That was, 2003 to 2005 I did my master's.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so after that I've been teaching writing in the community and writing. I've got 4 other full-length works lined up behind Thrill Seekers. I've had another children's book published, but the other novels are still waiting for good homes. So a lot of building my career as a writer has also been building the teaching of writing, because I haven't been so lucky with publishers. Just because, I don't know, you just have to wait for your luck to strike. Some people get very lucky very early. I think it's more rewarding if you have to wait. And editing as well. So I do editing and mentoring and things like that. And having all of those years of trauma and living a bit wild, let's say like that, it's all great material for writing. That's what I say to my students. You can be grateful. I mean, that's a great healing tool as well, as if you can be grateful for the shitty things that happen to you. That works. And as a writer, you can be grateful because it's all material. As an artist of any type, it's all material. And not only that, it makes us all more compassionate when you have an understanding of suffering.
No, I think they're very wise words. So you did the Masters of Creative Writing.
Yeah.
And when did you do your teaching? That was before your master's?
That was before, so I did that. So I did my English literature degree in the 80s, and then I left Brisbane because of the Bjelke-Petersen era, down to Sydney. Let's just say I lived in King's Cross and it wasn't pretty. And then I came back to Brisbane and did my 1 year grad dip in special needs education. Then I went off travelling and ran school, and first in Singapore. I started an English language program there for children, and then I went to Cambodia and started with an Australian aid program as a teacher, but then they gave me a job establishing a school in Sihanoukville.
Okay.
So that was lots of fun.
So why did you go to Cambodia? Or is that a difficult question?
Well, no, I met people. So I was living in Singapore, which was full of rules. And I met some lovely Norwegian boys who'd just come from Cambodia, and there were no rules in Cambodia. Cambodia was under the UNTAC, so there were actually no laws, and it was wild and free, and yeah, lots of fun.
Okay.
And it was a wonderful, wonderful place. It still is a good place, but when I was there, people were so happy to see people. It was their first opportunity to learn English since the 70s. So they were really, really glad to see us. And I've
really grateful for...
Yeah, wonderful friends that I call family still live there. Yeah.
And really grateful for that opportunity to learn English and...
Yeah, and
have a friendship with you.
Beautiful people who'd gone through so much but still could smile. I mean, I did learn later that smiling is a very cultural thing over there, and that each smile had a different meaning and it wasn't always happy, but...
Oh, that's funny.
Wonderful people.
That's funny. All right, well, thank you for sharing that. Just in summary, was there anything sort of further you'd just like to add to that?
Just keep trying. Again, it's the persistence is the key. Just keep trying. They say that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become a master at something, and I would agree. Yes, it probably takes about 10 years. And in a way, I've been very lucky that I haven't signed with a big Australian publisher. A lot of people get locked into putting out a book every year, and that can be really crippling to a writer's spirit. We get lots of time for that first one, but then the next one, if it's coming up really quick, it just becomes a horrible chore, and there's a lot of pressure and you get drained. So, and I've also learned a lot by going with small publishers about marketing, distribution, publicity, all of that stuff. So there are lots and lots of different ways. Find your own path. Try and have some other little job on the side that's going to bring you in an income. But yeah, find your own way. And if you want to do it, just keep doing it. Don't give up. Like we were saying, persistence is the key.
Persistence. Thanks, Edwina. So don't give up. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for those wise words.